Hey guys, welcome to Science. Today we move on to tropical rainforests and mountains. So it's actually my personal favorite, especially I love talking about rainforests. They're just so beautiful and there's so many cool animals and plants. Not that I've actually been to one, but let's go ahead and do a quick review. So speak to me as if you're actually in the class. What is the main vegetation in grasslands? Hint, it's in the name. If you said grass, you're correct. And what else? What are nocturnal animals? You got it. Nocturnal animals sleep during the day and are active at night. So go ahead and try to answer some of the other review questions as well, but we are going to go ahead and dive into the tropical rainforests. So here are some really cool pictures of rainforests that I collected. Of course, I didn't take these photos. I wish. Look how beautiful and lushful and just gorgeous all of these are, right? A lot of waterfalls. And as you can tell by the name, tropical rainforests get a lot of rain. And they are very, very humid. So what are they like? So it is the biome with the most rain, and it's extremely humid. Feels like the air is sweating. Of course, there's a lot of rain, like I said already, and scientists believe that about half of all the plants and animals in the world live in rainforests. Think about that. Half of all the plants and animals in the world in these biomes. That's pretty amazing. So think about all the animals and plants that maybe we didn't even find yet. And where can we even find the tropical rainforests? So you're probably most familiar with the Amazon rainforest in South America. A lot of the rainforests are actually near the equator, which makes sense because it's very humid there. So we got the Amazon River Basin in South America. So that's where Brazil is. And we got Congo River Basin in Western Africa. We also got some in Southeast Asia. And then, of course, Madagascar, India, and parts of Australia as well. So here are some really famous ones. The Amazon rainforest crossed over northwestern Brazil, Colombia, Peru, and other South American countries. This is in Africa, the Congo rainforest. Lots of canopies here. This is in Australia, super pretty, Daintree rainforest. And then Southeast Asian rainforests as well. And like I said before, there's a lot of plants and animals in rainforests. We have a term called, there is a term called biodiversity. It's basically how many species of plants and animals are found in a specific area. So tropical rainforests have an extremely diverse and abundant biodiversity, as you can see in this collage. So there are four main layers of the rainforests. We got the forest floor, and then on top of that is the understory layer, and then the canopy layer, and then the emergent layer. So I organized it here so you can kind of see. So the forest floor obviously is on the floor. You'll find a lot of termites, fungi, bacteria, and we got the understory layer, which is right under the canopy. They got some younger trees and very, very leafy plants. And the canopy layer, which is right here, they don't really get a lot of sun. It's very damp and moist there. The layer that gets the most sun, obviously, is on the very top, the emergent layers right here. So here is some more information. So you can pause the video here and read this as well. Got some pictures. Okay, so now you may be wondering, how do trees on the bottom get sunlight and support, right? Because we talked about how the top gets the most sun, but then what about the bottom ones? Well, the roots that spread out horizontally under the ground, you can see here, and there's also roots that intertwine, twist around each other. And there are also stilt roots, which are these guys, to help support the soil. So all of these different types of roots God created so these plants can get water and sunlight. Animals. So most of them, they look really cool. Many of them live in the treetops. They swing around. There's a lot of tree frogs. Some of them might be poisonous. Got the Wallace's flying frog. Yeah, we got a lot of cute guys. And shifting a little bit to mountains. So mountain is a little bit different. So biomes can change as you go up to a mountain. For example, you could start at a desert, and then as you go up, you could land at a grassland. And then as you keep going up, you could arrive at a forest, and then you can suddenly arrive at a coniferous forest. So why? Well, obviously, if you go up to the mountain, it gets colder. You feel colder, right? And you remember one of the number one things that determine the different types of biomes is the climate. So that actually influences what type of biome you are at as you climb up to a mountain. So for example, you could start at a grassland, and as you go up, you could suddenly arrive at a forest and then to a tundra at the very top. Super cool. All right, let's go ahead and read now. You know, what I'm going to do is actually allow you guys to read on your own this time instead of me doing a read aloud. I'd like you guys to practice kind of, you know, doing the self-study type of thing. Read it. Since we already went over the main points, it should make a little more sense. So it's just everything we just talked about in more detail. So please read until page 158. So again, that's 156 through 158. It's also on the to-do list. And as you read, please complete pages 105 and the page we did yesterday, 101. So we already did these three guys, but this time I want you guys to take notes on the climate, location, interesting facts and animals and plants in the tropical rainforest section. So go ahead and pause the video right here and do that. Once you're done, please come back and go over the answers with me. Okay, great. I hope that that went well. Just so you know, as I write down these answers, you don't have to write anything word to word. Of course, you can write it in your own words. So, climate of tropical rainforest. This is an easy one. Wet, warm, humid. Lots of rain. Some places, what are some places you can find these forests? Yep, near the equator. If you wrote down some countries, that's awesome. We got like India, Australia, Brazil, Africa. Africa's a continent, but yeah. Interesting facts. I wrote that there's a lot of biodiversity. I love the fact that there are so many different animals and plants. Even if you just Google rainforest animals, you'll see so many, even ones that you have never heard of. And yeah, the fact that many animals live in the treetops, I thought was interesting. Some common animals and plants, there are so many. I wrote the flying frog. We got ferns, orchids, moss, termite, all that jazz. Fantastic. Now let's look at page 105. So, number 1. Trees that grow closely together. So of course these are the different types, different layers of the canopy. Number 1 is B, canopy layer. Number 2, these are the guys with lots of large leaves, but they don't really get a lot of sunlight. That's of course the understory. The layer where trees stick out gets the most sunlight, that's the emergent layer. And then the home to organisms like termites, fungi, bacteria, that is the floor. And what did you put for number 5? The climate of a tropical rainforest is, well, we just went over that. Warm, rainy, humid. And what's the word that talks about the many different types of plants and animals? Biodiversity, Miss Oak's favorite word today. And a blank biome would most likely be found at the top of a mountain. Oh, this is an interesting one. The higher you go up to a mountain, remember it gets colder. So definitely not desert. Tundra. Now, number 8. Where do many animals in the tropical rainforest live? They live in the treetops. We went over that as well. And How is it possible for a mountain to have more than one biome? I wrote that as you go up a mountain, the air gets thinner, right? So the climate changes, which means that able to live there. The climate determines the kinds of animals and plants that can live there. Awesome. Well, that's it. Great job. I'll link some videos of cool rainforest videos to this description box. You can take a look, and I will see you in reading.